Whew, man, oh man, my phone is ringing off the hook today. So many people have some conversations and some need some things, and I'm just like, I just don't know. It's too much going on. Life is being lived by a lot of people, including myself. It's one of my busiest days today, but I'm still yet getting things done. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. Let me just step outside for a minute. No, I got somewhere to go. I got to run an errand real quick. Okay, what do I want to talk about today? I've had so much on my mind this morning, you just wouldn't believe. One of the things that I saw today, sorry about that, excuse me. I was on my Facebook, and I saw what is this young lady's name? I don't even know why I'm giving her mad credit, respect, because she's a trip. Taylor something. Anyway, she's the woman who said that Obama was a monkey in heels and Melania was a classy woman in the White House. Melania, who you can Google and see pictures of her making out with another woman and exposing her cha-cha and her breasts. Who needs to know what the First Lady's titties look like? Nobody but whoever the hell you fucking. The world doesn't need to know that. And if that's classy, well. Anyway, this very beautiful, attractive woman who has the nerve to label somebody a monkey has to go to jail. She's been stealing from FEMA. Wow. I guess she's one of Trump's good people. So his good people are at it again. Why are his good people always liars, criminals, thieves, tramps, scamps, whatever? I just don't understand. And why am I seeing these videos of people talking about, I used to be a Democrat, and then now I voted for Trump because he could make America great. But now I'm over it. Now I'm going back to vote Democrat. You didn't vote for Trump because you thought he could make America great. You voted for Trump because you wanted him to make America white. You voted for Trump because you wanted him to mistreat minorities and put you up on a higher pedestal. You can't get any fucking higher than you are. You're already at the top of the food chain and the sky's the limit. What more do you people want? You got all of this. You got all these good neighborhoods. You got all the little golf clubs that you want. All this shit. But it ain't enough. You still want more. You want so much that you lie to get your children in Ivy League colleges. Just lie upon lie upon lie. Trump won't pay his taxes. It's not a good businessman. It's a con artist. But he's so much better than black. Only black people can live in the slums. That's because you won't give them a choice to live elsewhere. Don't nobody want to live in the slums. Are you freaking crazy? Are you mad? Lord Jesus, let me calm down off this rant, because I'm looking at stuff, and the more I experience, well, in my life, I've experienced a lot because, hell, I'm old. But anyway, that's beside the point. What I'm noticing, and I don't think it's absolute. I think it's just something that I've seen. And just because you've seen something doesn't make it a rule. Doesn't make it a principle. It doesn't make it an absolute truth. It just doesn't. But what I have seen is that white women like to make other people their charity cases. And I know I do it. I've already said who I make my charity cases, the underdog, because I want to help people out. I feel bad if you don't have friends or whatever. So, I'll take you under my wing. And the reason why I say white women do it is because they're kind of, the white privilege thing really does exist. And when you have all of that and you say, well, I have all of this, but I want to feel good about myself, so I want to help somebody. I don't know how many of you have seen that movie, The Help, but in The Help, the most racist leader of the pack wanted to aid children in Africa. So she started this campaign, Millie starts this campaign to aid children in Africa. Not that she likes black people or black kids, but it would make her feel better, make her feel like her life has purpose. So they do this. I worked a job once. Me and the manager got along fabulously well. We would stay after hours just chit-chatting and just talking about anything. One night, she had me staying so late just talking to her about her personal life or what have you. And she walked me to my car. Big mistake. Huge. She walks me to my car. And the job that I'm working, it's supposed to be temp to perm. It was a temp to perm job because, I got laid off this big company that I worked for 16 years. But anyway, so she walks me to my car. And she has made me, unbeknownst to me, her charity case. I'm thinking she's talking to me and we're going on and on and on because, we both have good personalities and we just like each other and we formulated this friendship. That's what I thought. So she walks me to my car and she had already mentioned prior to walking me to my car that she didn't like the Cherry Creek school students because they're rich kids and they all have cars. So she's like, and they have cars better than me. And I'm like, I never pay attention to it. She says, every time I go to lunch around here, if it's near their lunch break, they show up and they make these long lines and then they get into these expensive cars. And I'm just like, oh, it's ridiculous. I don't mind other people's business like that, so I don't pay attention. That's another thing that white women tend to do, is pay attention to other people's business. Mind your own business. Anyway, so she walks me to my car, and she stops, because I stopped at my car, and she stops, and she's looking. And she's like, is this your car? Yeah. This is your car? Yeah. And she has this funny look on her face. And she says, well, okay, that's nice. Good night. So I said, good night. I'm thinking nothing more of it. This woman has had a fit because I drive an Audi Q7. She has had a fit. So I come in 3 days later. I don't see her for 3 days. When I do finally see her, she's got an attitude. She won't talk to me. I'm like, did I do something to her? Why is she mad? I don't know. So anyway, then she calls me into her office and she goes, you know what? We are revamping and restructuring everything. And we had a plan, and our subscribers that invest over $150,000, we decided to build a portfolio package just to address them and stay in touch with them throughout the year. It's not taking off. So we're restructuring. We're going to have to let you go. This motherfucker terminated my position because she couldn't help me. My car was better than hers. It pissed her off. And I'm like, are you serious? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? I have seen some shit in my life. I don't know if my listeners have seen a lot of stuff, but I have seen some stuff in my life. I've seen some people go off and go crazy for nothing. But since she had in her head that I was better than her, I took the longest break. I don't know if y'all noticed. I've been gone for about almost 2 hours. I've had lunch. I've just, been doing some things. But back to what I was saying. Since this woman had in her mind that I was her charity case, yet her charity case drove a better car than she did, she couldn't stand to be around me anymore. So she didn't want me working with her. So she terminated that. And I really didn't mind. Because I didn't really like what I was doing. They were paying me more than I was doing at my other job. And my other job, it laid everybody off because they lost their footprint in advertising. But it is what it is. But it just blows my mind that people actually live that way. And just recently, I was talking to my oldest sister, and her son has this expensive car. and he was pulled over by the police because of the kind of car that he drives, in question. Just because some police officers felt that he's a black man, he's not entitled to be driving that expensive car. It must be stolen or whatever. These are the kind of stereotypes and the kind of racism that we have to live with. And we're not supposed to talk about it. We're supposed to be quiet about it. When you're racially discriminated against in the workplace, nobody wants to deal with it. It's all shh, shh, hush, hush, hush. But it is a traumatic experience for the person who's going through it. And they do need to talk about it. And it does exist. And the only persons who really complain a whole lot about the race card being pulled are the ones who are actually drawing that card out. You're the one making a difference because of the color of someone's skin. You're the one making it difficult for them to work peacefully in the work. You're the one creating stumbling blocks so that they can only go so high up the ladder. You're the one doing it, but you don't want them to say anything about it. Just like Trump. He likes this police brutality. He was even campaigning about it. Rough them up. You don't have to be so gentle putting your hand on their heads. We know who he was talking about. And those police officers did that thing. They've gone out and they've gotten even more rough with minorities, especially black men. And it's horrible. And when he sees things happening with members of the KKK and rallying and stuff, he goes, oh, those are good people. Your good people are crazy, just like you. And I'm talking to Trump. He's crazy. And he perpetuates this kind of thing. It's like they want to either start a race war, or they just need somebody to beat down, to tear down, so they could feel better about themselves, so they could feel superior. And it's sad. That kind of psyche, it's sad because it never stops. You always want more and more and more, and it never stops. I had another friend who just experienced something similar to what I did. If she drove an Escalade, that was her car. But then she had her regular everyday car. Her regular everyday car had to be put in the shop. So she had to drive her car to her job. So when her supervisor saw the kind of car she drove, for some reason or another, she was fired. Been working there just fine for a couple of years, no problems. Then all of a sudden, boom, we got a problem. Kind of like what I endured when I was working at this company. I used to always tease it too. When I first started there, it was wonderful. The manager would say, you know what, you can't do everything in a day. What didn't get done today can get done tomorrow. Go on home. And I'm like, well, I want to learn my job. And that was important to me. Every time I start something new, I really want to get into that thing and digest it and learn it. So I would stay late. I'm doing everything that's within my means to learn my job. It's important to me. I have a very strong work ethic. And then things changed because they wanted to bring, well, I'm going to just say it, they wanted to bring the white girl back. She had left her job. She wanted to try her hand at sales. She sucked at it, so she wanted to come back. But there was no position for her because they were downsizing, and the only position that was left for her to have to get was the one I was working. So how was she going to get that job? Well, make Dana unhappy and she'll quit, or mistreat Dana and she'll quit. And that was their agenda. And that's what they all rallied to do, to make me miserable, to make me unhappy, so that this other girl who's entitled can have the position. One day she even told me, I don't like Michelle Obama because she has weird lips. Really? Hell, you got weird lips. You got cold sores all the time. Nobody say shit about your lips. But that's what you have to say about the First Lady? And then when Trump got elected, he's always like that. You ain't said shit about how funny his fucked up mouth is. He's cool. I wonder why. I wonder what that is. But I don't have to wonder too long. My wondering on that one doesn't even have to give me a headache. It's not mind-boggling. It's not rocket science. We know what it is. But I wasn't supposed to say any of that because that would cause a problem. It would make people uncomfortable in the workplace. But they don't care about your comfort in the workplace. Imagine that. And bondage, as I've said before, is not in my psyche. You are not going to be allowed to walk all over me and keep your foot on my neck. I don't think so. If I'm going to be made uncomfortable, guess what, boo-boo? You're going to be a little uncomfortable too. And one of the managers that I had, her little happy hooker self, that's right. Ooh, she was good at playing the victim and good at being manipulative and secretive and deceitful. And that mug, I just got a message from my daughter. It was funny. Anyway, she would call me into her office and say one thing to me, and then in front of the rest of the people, she would do something else. And she was always asking me, how do I set up the color printer? How do I do this? She asked me 4 different times. And each time I would set it up for her or show her how to do it. Then the last time she asked one of the sales reps to ask me how to set up the color printer. So I'm telling him how to do it. And then I said, just take me to your laptop and I'll put it on for you. So then, oh, lo and behold, the truth comes out. She hollering at her off. He really doesn't want it for him. It's really for me. But hooker, I done told you 4 times how to do this. But if I do something wrong, you want to reprimand me and tell me, oh, that means I'm inadequate and I don't know my job. But you can't figure out how to do a color print, and you've been shown 4 times. And I even gave you written instructions on how to do it. But you're coming to me, Miss, oh, she's inadequate. You're coming to this inadequate woman to help you do your job with the same question. You already asked me this question before. When I make a mistake, it was on something that I clearly didn't know what was up. I just, I'm going to digress. Why am I going to digress? Because what should have happened did happen, and it's of no consequence. It was a horrible environment. I'm no longer in it, so why even talk about it? I guess it's good to talk about it, because in that I get delivered from it. If you hold stuff in, you feel like you're going to spontaneously combust, and it will drive you crazy. And I've never been allowed to talk about that experience that I had. And I said the name of the company on purpose, because I wanted known what company I worked with and who I worked for. And I'm not blaming the company. Just those 2 individuals, like I said yesterday. Just those 2. Because I resent what I allowed them to do to me. And I regret not being stronger. And what I mean by not being stronger is, I'm so nice. I really am. I'm too nice. I was nice to those people, and they didn't deserve it. And I wish I had been meaner. Not to the degree that a friend of mine was telling me about. She would tell me, you know what you need to do? You need to go put some X-Lax in the coffee. You're responsible for making the coffee. Put some X-Lax in that shit. They treating you like shit, give them the shits. I'm like, oh my gosh. That could never be me. I would never do that. That's horrible. Oh my goodness. But no, I took a lot of crap. I really, really did. I would speed into work. One time I got a ticket because I had to take my daughter to the doctor, and when I got to the house to take her to the doctor, she wasn't ready. I was so mad. And I'm like, hurry up, hurry up. So I was speeding to work because she needed to use my car to get to the doctor. So I went home from lunch to pick her up, and then I'm speeding back to work. I got a ticket. I made it back to work, but she was mad at me. She goes, why do you care so much about this job, about these people, and they don't care about you? They could care less about you. And yes, it was true, but it wasn't about them. It was about me. It was about my worth ethic. It was about my quality of life. My life, for me, is always about me. Everything else in life might not be about me, but I'm about me. And I'm about putting my best foot forward. So I didn't want to deal with no static, have no friction. I didn't want to be late. I didn't want to have to go through them looking at me saying, don't say nothing to me. I got this. I got me. So that's what I did. I try to, and I want to. I don't just try, because People who say, I'm going to try, I'm going to try, I'm going to try, sometimes they're really not trying. They really don't care to do better. They're really not trying. So I was better. I was, and I retain, and I maintain being the best employee that I can be. Not for them, but for me. That's where I get my peace of mind. That's a part of what makes me content, is knowing that at the end of the day, I put my best foot forward and I feel good about it. And I can go to sleep with peace, because if I don't do that, I'm tormented. I can't even, if I fix a plate for someone, I like to call myself hospitality. If I fix a plate for someone and I sneezed, even with a tissue, I have to wash my hands again because I sneezed. And I don't want bacteria or fungus or any germs or anything getting into someone else's food. When I cook for a potluck, I wear gloves, even in my own home. When I have to mix up something, like I got this recipe for a cheese ball for Mary Elizabeth, and it's really, really good. People like it a lot. When I make the cheese ball, you have to get the cream cheese and the scallions and the smoked ham. That's all that's in it. And you have to mix it together thoroughly. Some people just go dig right in with their hands. Well, my thing is this. If you have long fingernails, food is getting underneath your fingernails. That's gross. So what I do, I put all the ingredients into a plastic bag and I mix it inside the plastic bag. And you can take that plastic bag and you can squish it up real good, nice and good, get everything all mixed up. And then I poke a hole in the bottom, or I cut a hole in the bottom of the plastic bag, and then I just squeeze all the ingredients out into the platter or whatever I'm doing, so that my hands haven't touched something that someone else is going to put in their mouth. I do it not just for them, but I do it for me. I treat people how I want to be treated. I don't want to eat your fungus fingernails or your germs, and I don't want you dripping sweat and putting your flavor in something that I'm going to consume. So since I don't want it done to me, I don't do it to anybody else. And I think that if we all applied that, the world would be a better place. If we really did follow the golden rule and do unto others as we'd have them do unto us. I really do believe that police would stop being so brutal if they knew that in turn somebody's going to be that brutal to their own child. They would stop. They would do something about school shootings if they stopped to think that because you refuse to do anything about making these people who felt they were entitled more responsible for what they've done, now your child is dead. You would have done something. If we think with the right frame of mind and know that we are not better than anybody else, we just might be better off. I think a whole lot of things would change and we'd do a whole lot better. Those are just my thoughts. I'm Danny Daniels. You guys have a great day. It was wonderful talking to you. It was wonderful enjoying the sunshine with you today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.